Three figures, cloaked, determined. They moved through the dense forest, their faces grim, their eyes fixed on the path ahead. They were hunters, but not of the ordinary kind. They hunted a witch, Seris. Their leader, Marcus, clutched a silver amulet. It pulsed faintly, a beacon in the deepening twilight. The amulet was their guide, leading them to the heart of their quarry. The air crackled with anticipation, a silent promise of the confrontation to come. The forest whispered around them, a chorus of rustling leaves and snapping twigs. Shadows danced at the edge of their vision, taking on menacing shapes. The hunters pressed on, their resolve unbreakable. Failure was not an option. Marcus, haunted by the past, led the hunt with steely determination. Seris had taken everything from him, his family, his home, his life as he knew it. Now he would have his revenge. He remembered the flames, the screams, the utter destruction she had wrought. His hand tightened around the amulet, the cold metal a reminder of his pain. He would see her pay. Beside him walked Ilara, her face etched with a sorrow as deep as Marcus's. She too had suffered at Seris's hand, her spirit scarred, but not broken. She carried with her an arsenal of ancient knowledge, her wisdom a weapon against the darkness. Completing their trio was Ronan, a young hunter eager to prove himself. He had heard the tales of Seris, her power both terrifying and alluring. He sought justice, but also a chance to test his skills against a legendary adversary. The hunter's journey was fraught with danger. The forest seemed to conspire against them, the paths twisting and turning, leading them in circles. The trees, gnarled and ancient, watched with silent hostility. They encountered creatures of darkness, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent. Giant spiders with venomous fangs guarded hidden pathways. Wolves, their fur the color of midnight, stalked them through the undergrowth. Exhaustion gnawed at their resolve. Hunger clawed at their bellies. Still they pushed forward, driven by a shared purpose that transcended their pain. They would find Seris no matter the cost. Their pursuit led them through ruined villages, remnants of Seris's devastating power. The air hung heavy with the stench of decay and the lingering echoes of fear. Each step brought them closer to their target, but also deeper into the heart of her magic. They faced monstrous guardians, creatures twisted by Seris's dark sorcery. They fought with a desperate ferocity, their blades flashing in the dim light. Ilara's knowledge proved invaluable, her whispered incantations weaving protective shields and unleashing bursts of blinding light. Each victory came at a price. Wounds festered, supplies dwindled, doubt crept into their minds like a poison, yet they clung to their mission, their determination fueled by a potent mix of vengeance and fear. Section 5. Whispers of Seris. As they ventured deeper into Seris's domain, the whispers started, faint at first, like the rustle of leaves in the wind, then louder, more insistent. They carried on the air, fragments of conversation, snatches of laughter, whispers of Seris's name. The hunters felt her presence all around them, a palpable darkness that sent shivers down their spines. They began to question everything they thought they knew about her. Was she truly evil? Or was she a victim of circumstance, her powers twisted by some unknown force? The line between hunter and hunted blurred. They were no longer sure who was pursuing whom. The forest held its breath, waiting for the final confrontation. Just as their hope began to dwindle, they found it. A small village untouched by the surrounding darkness. The villagers welcomed them with cautious hope, offering them food and shelter. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, the hunters felt a flicker of warmth. They learned that Seris had spared this village, protecting it from the encroaching darkness. Could it be that the whispers were true? Was there more to Seris than they knew? Their resolve, once unbreakable, began to waver. The villagers spoke of Seris with a mixture of fear and reverence, describing acts of both cruelty and kindness. The hunters were left to grapple with the possibility that their enemy was not the monster they had envisioned. The amulet pulsed with renewed urgency, guiding them to an ancient, crumbling temple. The air thrummed with raw power. This was it, Seris's lair. Their final confrontation was at hand. They entered the temple, their senses on high alert. The air was thick with the scent of incense and something ancient and powerful. Runes glowed on the walls, their light casting flickering shadows that danced and writhed. They found Seris in the heart of the temple, her back to them. She turned, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. For a moment, no one moved. The silence stretched, thick with anticipation and dread. Seris's face, once beautiful, was now etched with a terrible sadness. She spoke, her voice a low threnody of despair. She hadn't meant for any of this to happen. She had been betrayed, her powers twisted against her will. She was not the monster they sought, but a prisoner in her own skin. The true enemy still lurked, more powerful and more insidious than they could imagine. And now it was coming for her. Before the hunters could react, a swirling vortex of darkness erupted from the ground, tendrils of shadow reaching for Seris with grasping claws. A blood-curdling scream tore from her lips as she was dragged down, swallowed whole by the abyss. The temple shook, threatening to collapse in on itself. The hunters, their quarry vanished, their vengeance unfulfilled, barely escaped with their lives. They emerged into the cool night air, the weight of their failure heavy on their shoulders. Seris was gone, but not by their hand. The true enemy remained at large, a chilling thought that settled deep in their bones. They had hunted a monster only to find a victim. The line between good and evil had never seemed so blurry. As they turned away from the ruined temple, leaving behind the echoes of screams and the stench of fear, they knew that their hunt was far from over. In fact, it had just begun. The question was, who would they hunt next? And would they even recognize the true enemy when they found it?